is Patrick Pichler. I'm currently working at Dynatrace as a product security engineer. So the main topic of my presentation was to have a look at the internals of Kubelet, figure out how Kubernetes enforces memory limits on pods and how pods are even spawned and started.
So you introduced the notion of resource request and limits, mainly?
Yes, not just this, but really a deep dive into the code to figure out what's going on a code level. I would just focus on the memory. I ignored the CPU for now, because I had some few months ago a discussion with colleagues where we were actually trying to figure out what happens if we set pod memory limits equals requests. That's what actually sparked the whole idea of why not do a deep dive into figuring out what happens on the code level.
I guess you also have lots of thoughts about putting limits and requests on the CPU side of the workload. So what's your take about that?
It depends. So there is this notion out there to actually get rid of CPU limits, but I guess it really depends on what kind of cluster you're running. Because in the end, what you could end up is with a noisy neighbor problem where one pod consumes all the memories, all the CPU cycles, pretty much starving the other pods on the system. But overall, I think the argument for getting rid of them is pretty good, since otherwise you might end up with idling nodes. So I've been running Kubernetes clusters for, I guess, 2 years by now, or at least I used to, since I now my current role as a product security engineer, I do no longer run them. So I've had some experience with Kubernetes, and the preparation of the talks mainly consisted with me opening my editor and getting my hands dirty by just reading some Kubelet source code and figuring out how different kind of things interconnect and work together.
And on the I guess you looked at the recent version of Kubelet, but do you know if Kubelet has improved the way it allocates resources and manages resources in the cluster?
So in the end, it's not really Kubelet's decision to manage those resources. This is actually handled by the container runtime. But with the introduction of, I think, Kubernetes 1.27, there's a new feature which would allow Kubelet to request some resources or request in memory your pod's requests actually on the nodes, so that no other process can take it and pre-allocate it for you. So there's definitely some improvements going on. Yeah.